awesome. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Casey Snyder. I'm a Regional Vice President Platinum here in ACN, and I can tell you in the last 15 years, I have never been as excited as I am right this second. The reason being is for me personally, I always saw possibilities. I always believed that this was a better way, not the only way to earn an income and to create a fortune for a family, but for an average person, I think it's just the best way where an average individual like myself, and I know many of you on the line here can relate that, you can get flat out wealthy. You can get time and money together through this opportunity. I don't know of anything else that's out there that has such a simple plan that if you implement, if you work hard, you can achieve such big results. And I can tell you this, is that all the years I've been excited for myself and my family what was possible, I've never been as excited as I am right now because I really see it coming together for everybody as a whole, where you literally can start right now. And for those of you getting started here in the last week or two, we want to welcome you to the team. The system is in place where if you follow it, you're going to achieve results in a big, big way. But on top of that, here's the bigger point. For those of you that have been with us for a little while, whether it's a couple months or a couple years, again, what's going to take place over the next week or so, you can absolutely double, triple. Some of you will literally quadruple your business in the next 10 days if you just implement and take advantage of some of the things ACN's rolled out. So for starters, just to recap a couple things, you can see the bonus document up on the slideshow there. Most of you are aware of the bonus. I'm going to detail it a little as we go through it, but that was just one of the things mentioned here this month. One of the big announcements this past weekend, really two big things that were announced. One is the addition of AT&T Wireless as one of our new partners for Flash Wireless. So stay tuned for more information on that over the next month or two. But in addition to that, they are much closer to launching a commercial ID Seal service or ID Seal product that will also be taking place very, very soon before the end of the year. Very excited about that. Not to mention next month, we anticipate ACN is going to roll out another plan for ID Seal. It's going to be an annual plan where someone can pay upfront for a year long of service, where they're going to give a customer 2 months for free and then wind up charging for 10 months overall for the package. Now, the benefit's going to be great as a rep. You'll still get points, and you're still going to get paid full residual income. So those are some of the big announcements that were made. Let's get into the actual training we had planned for everybody here tonight. As many of you are aware, there's a huge buzz going around ID Seal and the energy promotion this month. Now, don't misunderstand. There's some great promotions out this month with, AT&T for internet, Vivint, Sphere payments. All of these always have, seem to have some great incentives. But for the sake of the call tonight and for the training tonight, we are going to zero in on these two specific promotions, specifically, more than anything else, ID Seal. And the reason why is simply because the points that you can gain, the bonuses that can be earned over the next 10 days or so overall. So let's take a look at a couple things. For starters, in fact, Mr. Hawker, you can go ahead and see the comp plan up on the screen, right? Is that the screen you're looking at? Excellent, very good. So here's the compensation plan, ladies and gentlemen. If you're newer on the line, I just want to detail it a little bit, closer, just to give you more specifics here. As you've heard in the ACN presentation, you can earn 1 to 10% residual income on all your bills. In order to earn a 10% income, you are going to need 60 personal customer points. Now, if you look to the right of that, you can get an example of what we're looking at financially. Let's just take, for example, the average bill was $40 a month. If you have 60 services overall, $2,400 a month, 10%, it's pretty straightforward math. That's $240 per month in residual income that you're going to earn. Now, I know none of you are going to quit your job or your career for $240 a month. Just note that this is just a very conservative example just to give you an idea of how to grow your income. Obviously, the more points you're going to get, the more residuals. But here's what I want you to take away from this particular slide. And that is, for you to maximize your residual income, we want you to get to 60 points as fast as humanly possible. There's some people in our organization, you're going to hear from one shortly, that recently has signed up some major commercial energy accounts. Well, here's the thing, is if you were to start today and you sign up a big commercial account, if that's your first customer, or even if it's your 15th customer, you're going to get 1% of that particular account. Whereas if you grow your total points, it'll be retroactive. You'll get paid that 10% on that big bill and 10% of everything in the future. The key is making sure you qualify to get paid on everything. Now, that said, don't overwhelm yourself either. If you're brand new to the business, your job is just to introduce right now. Your job is to have a home meeting. Your job is to get people to come to an event. Your job is to get people to sit down with your mentor and let us work on your behalf. The key is over the next 90 days or so, you want to ramp up your numbers and get to these thresholds. That said, the next 10 days, it's going to be much easier for you to gain ground based upon some of the promotions that ACN's in fact rolled out. So let's take a look at the next slide here, the overriding residual income. One thing to get paid residual income on your bills, but it's a whole nother thing to get paid residual income on everybody else's bills. So if you look, anyone that you personally introduce, as you can see, you can earn 0.25%. But as your levels grow, in other words, as you introduce people and they introduce people, that residual income is going to get even more because the payout is going to be higher, increasingly higher as you progress. Here's what I want you to take away though. Unlike other businesses out there, home-based businesses, there is no daily, weekly, or even monthly requirements. There's no quotas that you have to meet on a regular basis. In other words, it's not like you sell a certain amount of something this month, and then next month you got to sell a certain amount, and then next month you got to sell a certain amount. Once you get these accounts on the books, you're going to be credited for all of this. Now, that said, the only requirement is to maintain a certain level of points to get paid the full residual income. Here's the point totals for everything. As you progress, for you to get paid from 4 down, you're going to need 25 points. For you to get paid 5%, you're going to need 50 points. For you to get paid 8% on your organization's customer base, you're going to need 75 customer points. Now again, ACN doesn't care how you get the points. It could be all ID seal. It could be all energy. It could be all cell phone. It doesn't matter how you get there, but once you cross that threshold overall, that's what's going to open up all the residual income for you and your family. So now let's take a look at the ID Seal service for a second. Many of you are already familiar with this. I'm not going to take a ton of time on it. We have 2 basic plans right now. As I've already alluded to, they're going to launch another plan very, very soon. But literally, the thing that is right now the buzz around ACN is this particular promotion where, again, you can see it for yourself, 4 points for every ID Seal customer. So I want to give you some perspective here just to really understand why this is such a valuable promotion right now. See, I already told you why you want to get as many points as possible because you're going to get residual income. But the reason you want to focus in on this service for the next week or so, it's magnified, right? So for example, consider something like Vivint, right? Vivint's an incredible service, but you're looking at $60, $70 a month roughly to get the 4 points that are offered. Not to mention there's a contract associated with that particular service. Take a look at Dish Network or DirecTV, right? Less amount of points, but again, there's a contract, and again, you're going to pay more than $29 a month, more than likely for that particular service. Take a look at energy. See, energy is great. The billing of the customer is pretty high. That said, though, you're only getting 1 point per energy account. Look at the YBA for a second. The YBA, while it's a phenomenal business tool, I know many of you on the line may use it because you want to get more points as well as look at your organization. Well, again, just break it down per point per dollar. A YBA at $40 a month, it's going to cost you $20 per point. So now look at the ID Seal service for a moment. $29, you get 4 points for that. Guys, that is literally the equivalent of $7.50 per point. That is the average of per point there. Now, that's going to make more sense as I break it down here in a moment, but I will tell you this. There was a time where ACN had a specific service that was offered, and they did something crazy that was unheard of. This particular service, there was 1 month, 1 calendar month, where they wanted to promote the service heavier, and based on that, they ramped up the points. They literally quadrupled the points based upon this one specific service. I'm talking like 10 years ago. Overnight, there were so many customers that were acquired. And here's what's interesting though. ACN essentially locked in that promotion. So to this day, there are still reps. that are credited with a certain number of points based on an old service that ACN doesn't even offer anymore, but they still get credit for those points because of when they signed up for them. That then opens up possibilities for extra income. Again, imagine you get a major energy account. Imagine you get a $10,000 energy account, you sign it up, or somebody in your team signs it up. Well, you can literally use this promotion of ID Seal, focus in over the next week, hit these thresholds, which is now going to make you more money for the other services that are out there. So I'm going to give you some examples here in a moment, but I do want to give you the other reason we want to get points over the next week to 10 days. That is the promotions available, the positions that are available, and the fact that ACN just announced an increase in the compensation plan. You can see it for yourselves. We're now ETLs will get paid $100 every single time they help somebody get their customers. Let's break it down like this. I put this together for everybody to take a closer look at. This month, if somebody signs up into your group or you just signed it up, they go out and get 777. You know, we have a business partner of ours, just got started. He put in energy bill, 2 ID seals. He is qualified, customer qualified based on that circumstance. That's a $400 bonus along with the previous paid $100. So you've already made your investment back if you're new, or if you introduce people this month, that's how they get their startup right back. But that's not it. Consider if they just go out and have 4 people join in 30 days, not by the end of the month, but 30 days they're now going to get a total bonus check of $1,500. So if you're taking notes here, wherever it is you're from, and I know most of you are in our organization that's on the call here tonight, take a picture of that. It is such an easy way to explain how to get somebody paid right away. 777, they got their $500 back. But if they have 4 people join within 30 days, it's a total bonus of $1,500 available. More importantly, they can be an ETL with that scenario. Why do they want to be an ETL? $100 every time somebody gets their customer. So again, do some math. If 20 people come into their organization within a calendar month, that's $2,000 that's paid if everybody gets their customers. Well, now let's make it even more exciting. Look at the next position, regional director. Why do you want to be an RD on the line? If you're listening in on a Friday evening, why do you want to go regional director? Well, 600 points gets you there, but now bonuses go up to $300 every time you help somebody get these customers. So imagine if 20 people come into your business, just like at ETL, and ETL would have made $2,000, but regional directors, you guys, make $6,000 if they had 20 people come into their group and get their customers. Well, if 50 people came in, guys, it's $15,000. Here's some more numbers that'll blow you away. Look at these comparisons at these positions. Now, again, ETL is great. If you're brand new, ETL is amazing. It's literally the best position to start off at, because as you get more people started, 25 is $2,500, 30 is $3,000, 40 is $4,000. That is a lot of money for somebody brand new. So that's why you want to hit ETL right away. Regional director, though, you guys, for those of you that push this month and use the promotions the right way, you could literally secure a regional director and look at some of those payouts. If 75 people were to get started in your business in a month as a regional director, and they're in the right place in the organization, that's $22,000 plus that'd be paid. Heck, 100 is $30,000. So I'm sure all of you'd agree that you want to go regional director as soon as possible. So let's show you how we're going to help you go regional director, at least ETL, in the next week here if you're not already. Break down the numbers. The promotion, crazy, right? So take a look at it. 5 ID Seal customers, if that's all you did this month, 5 ID Seal is 20 points right off the bat. Second point, right? Let's break it down just so you guys can see the actual numbers here. 10, it's 40 customer points. 20 is 80 customer points. 25 is 100 customer points. Now, some of you can't relate, or maybe I blew you away a little bit with that threshold of ID Seal customers. But again, it's all perspective based. You know, when I got involved in the business, all we had was a long distance phone service. In long distance phone service, we could offer customers no long-term commitment and no long-term contract. And we were able to push a favor and get people to try the service. Based upon that trial approach and the favor approach, we signed up customers left and right. There was literally a person that we work with that had 60 long distance customers within the first 3 days of them joining. There's a big Friday night leadership that we had. They signed up on a Wednesday morning and they literally put their head down and got 60 people to try the long distance home phone service to qualify for the leadership that was happening that Friday night. So I bring that up because I know it can be done, but if it's done on the ID Seal level with just 25, guys, that's 100 customer points. Here's what I would do personally if I were any of you listening in on the call. I would look at how many points you're short of 100. So let's say, again, just to keep it simple, let's say that you're at 50 customer points. Well, you are 50 points away from hitting 100. Well, how many ID Seal customers do you need to get to 50 points? That's going to be roughly 13 ID Seal, and now you've hit your 100 customer mark. So again, it's not that complicated. Just break down what your goal is, what you need to get there, and how many ID Seal are going to help you achieve that particular mark. Now, again, you guys know there's bonuses available. The bonuses this month are pretty exciting as well. Zoom Energy, 5 bills is $250. The next 5 bills after that, $350. The next 5 after that, unlimited. Now you're at, a total of 600 with just 5 households. Like, break that down for a minute, how significant that is. For those of you on the line that go out and get 20, which in many markets, gas and electric, 10 households for gas and electric, guys, it's $1,300 in upfront bonuses that you would get paid right away. Now, again, a couple things to consider. They don't have to do a fixed rate, a contracted rate, or the unlimited option to qualify for this bonus. If all you need is to get them to try it, well, if they just do that, again, you'll get the bonus. Now, it's not that we don't want people having the service long term. Obviously, we want them to keep it. We want the residuals. But my point is, when you're getting customers, again, it's never been easier to get customers right now. And for you to make that money up front, guys, that is substantial income. Many of you have friends that are business owners. Business owners are great because usually they have gas and electric, and usually at their business, they have these services as well. So not only can you sign up their household, but many times you're going to be able to sign up their commercial accounts also. The ID Seal promotion. We did a leadership a couple nights ago, and I shared with everybody I wasn't 100% sure if it was unlimited like energy, but we have confirmed in the last 24 hours, 100% it is. So that means energy, like I just showed you, is unlimited. A business partner of ours just put in 70 units, 70 accounts. Every 5, that was $250 for them. So a great promotion, a great bonus for them. Well, the same thing, you guys, holds true for ID Seal. So just like I mapped out the points for everybody, map out what you would get for bonuses here. 25 ID Seal, it's $1,200 plus. Even if you come up short, let's say you get 10 or 11 ID Seal customers, guys, it's still $500 that you're making right away. I would like to give you a note if you're not familiar with this. Is a big point. You want to make sure you let your team know. The way the ID Seal promotion is working, if a customer signs up for the service, after 30 days, you're going to get credit for $125 of your bonus. The credit card has to go through a second month, whatever card they use, for you to get credit for the second month of the bonus. So if you get 10 ID Seal customers in that first month, at the end of that month, the credit card gets declined. Not only will the points fall off right away, but if you go from 10 to 9, that means you're only going to get $250 up or $125, not the full amount that could have been paid out based upon the services. So hopefully that makes sense. Once the second payment is processed, that's when the second half of your bonus, whatever you've earned, that will get processed at that time. Right? So that's super duper important. Make sure your customers are signing up with the service. In other words, don't use things like a gift card or, any other means. Don't, use your card to sign up for these services, because if any of these cards get declined or they can't be used anymore, the points will fall off the day that the service is signed up. Now, I'm going to go through a script with everybody tonight. A lot of you have seen this before. In addition to that, we're going to give you some alternate approaches here in a moment with one of our regional directors we work with and a couple other leaders we want you to hear from. So for starters, if you're newer to the business, remember the key, especially with ID Seal, you guys, since we're focusing in on that for the next 10 days, is to get customers based on the relationship. Regardless of it being incredibly exciting and all the value with it and, you know, all the breaches that are happening right now and it being all over the news, no, even with us being less expensive than the competition, it's all about urgency and excitement and helping you that's going to determine the success that you have. You know, I was reaching out to some business partners today and, you know, just hearing how everybody was doing. You know, we have Jody Sokol right now that has gotten more than 10 ID Seal customers in the last couple of days just by using the favor approach. We have the Dradi family in South Florida who just broke the 75 customer mark because they have now used the favor approach with their ID Seal customers. Literally, story after story, you're going to hear more and more of them. The key words you want to use when you're trying to get a customer for ID Seal or any service, it's going to be help, favor, try, and sharing your reason why. Key, though, is you got to give a deadline. So, for example, it's going to be help, favor, try, and your why. You know, I'm doing this for my kids. I'm in line for a promotion. I got to get it done by tonight. Can you help me out? Now, the advantage with ID Seal is it can be text, the script. So if you feel more comfortable with that, you can text it. But no, you'll always get more results if you're open to calling that potential prospect. So all you're going to do is you're going to call up your friend. Hey, hey, Joe, wait for a response. I need a huge, huge favor. I'm in line for a promotion and I really need your help. Start it with the business part-time, share why you're doing it, and then let them know our company just launched a brand new service and I need a couple more friends to try it by tonight. It's an awesome service and you actually may need it. It's called identity theft or ID Seal. You know, you can also say it's called private cybersecurity. You know, ask them, have you ever heard of LifeLock? Listen, it's like that, but it offers a whole lot more and it's less expensive. Listen, all I need you to do is try it out. There's no contract. There's no commitment. If I send you my link, can you do me a favor and just give it a shot? All you gotta do is fill it out, right? Just give it a shot. I need a picture of the confirmation after you do it. Can you please just give it a shot? Now, that is the number one approach to getting a lot of customers. Now, I'm gonna give you some alternate approaches in a minute, but this is the core. This is the structure that's gonna get you the results the majority of the time. If the prospect says no, very rarely are you gonna get somebody that says no flat out. But if you do, don't spend time with them convincing or selling. Just keep it moving. If they say yes, sign them up right now. Do not wait. Get the customer on the book, enroll them, and then authenticate immediately. Last one is if a customer has questions, focus in on potential points of interest, right? Be natural. So as an example, our platform has incredible things, including social media protection. So if you're talking to somebody younger, you're going to bring up that point that it can help them with their social media, can protect their social media. Let's say you're talking to some of your friends that are parents. Well, then you would want to bring up the sex offender registry so they can be familiar with that, right? Let's say they're elderly or they're a little bit older. For them, you're going to want to bring up the medical ID protection and things of that nature. Guys, the key is there's never been an easier service just to get somebody to try. You know, as a college student, I can tell you that none of my friends could be my customer because none of them had a home phone. I had to reach out to parents and friends of parents to get my customer base up. Here, though, I can only imagine how many customers I would have been able to obtain in college because anybody 18 years or older can sign up for ID Seal. Again, all it is a favor. 18, 19, 20, they need a social, they need an email, and they can become your customer. You can get these customers tonight. So here's some other things. Let's say they say, well, I have LifeLock, or, you know, I have another company that's out there. Well, again, the comparison is night and day difference. There is many companies out there that are perhaps, they promote a cheaper price, but no, you get what you pay for. There's no company out there that is as robust as ID Seal and gonna offer as much as we do for the price point that we do. And that's the big point here, right? So on top of that, I do want to share with you some alternative approaches. In fact, we do have a business partner of ours that is having a ton of success right now. So excited for what's going on in his business right now. We're going to go ahead and let him go ahead and share, if he would, how he's getting the customers, how his team's getting the customers, and give you a couple specific steps where you can kind of add it to the tool belt, if you will, to help you get a lot of customers. So with that, Mr. Chris Riedman, if you can go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and unmute you here, Chris. Let me make sure I find you, sir. Chris, can you hear me? Oh, there we go. Yep, you're on, buddy.
Got me. Awesome. Well, thank you, Mr. Snyder. I appreciate it. So I'm excited, guys. It's amazing what Case was talking about. I remember when we were selling video phones for $400, and the value of that now versus the value of ID Seal has been definitely a blessing to a lot of people in the organization, individuals now that are going towards regional director. So this would be an approach I would say that is we're still going off of the favor. So Kevin O'Connor, I know, has implemented this for some people. Miss Jody Sokol, has really been doing a lot of what Mr. Casey Snyder just went through. Favor, Help, Try, came off the national. We just launched this new service. Have you heard of the breach? This is what it's about. And then we're going to direct them right to the My ID Seal website. So the Team Revolution organization set it up. It goes directly to the Equifax settlement page, where then you can simply have somebody. I would recommend them do it themselves, just because they're actually going to see the screen. It's more impactful than you saying, give me your information, and you put it in, and you're like, oh yeah, you're impacted. Way more impactful if they do it, and just from trial and error. So when you put in their information, their last name, last 6 of their social, and very simply, it's going to show if they were impacted by the Equifax breach about 2 years ago. And what's amazing with it is that if they're impacted, the question that you want to ask them is essentially, do you know what that means? And everybody's going to say no. So that kind of puts you in, now the power seat. You can educate them on it, and you say, hey, listen, within this new age digital world that we're living in, whatever you want to say there, you have to have security for, cyber criminals. And, they now have your social, they have your name, they get your address, your telephone number, they have your children's names, your mortgages, anywhere that you've banged, financial institutions. That's all wrapped up in these, obviously in the credit bureaus. So we just try and scare them as much as we can, to be honest with you. When I say scare, it's not really scare. I guess you would say aware, and then it leads to, we frighten them. And I use videos. I go to YouTube. I'll send them to Mr. Snyder. You can put them up on the webpage. But it's target specific. So like, my friends or individuals that have, who are parents, I'm going to focus more on the kids. If they're younger, I'm going to focus more on the hospital breaches and how they don't have to be online, for the value. If I'm talking to somebody who's a teenage daughter like myself, a 13-year-old girl, God bless my soul, and everybody out there is a teenage daughter who's 13. I'm talking more about the Facebook monitoring. I'm talking about bullying, that kind of thing. Whatever is, would really be essentially a value to them. And then a lot of them, I would say we're signing up roughly around 40 to 50% of the people that we talk to. So if you talk to 10 people, you're going to sign up 5 from what we found, and then we sign them up. So it's more just the numbers. It's not that everybody's going to, see the value in it. But a lot of people are going to see the impact when they actually see it for themselves. So it's a very simple way, just to create value and let them make the decision that, yeah, I need this. This makes a lot of sense. And I think it'll really create a long-term residual where you'll have less attrition with it too, because they see the value. But definitely before you even do this, use the Favor, Help, Try approach. This is just implementing a little different thing with a great resource. So, roughly, Mr. Kevin O'Connor put in now just about 90 customer points of the service since the national with his team. Miss Jody Sokol, Mr. Jay Clemmer, and some other individuals that are just killing it. So it definitely works. And it's just a great way to knock out RD, and we can create even more regional vice presidents because it's such a high point service. If you break down those numbers, it's not that many people in an organization to go regional director. So now's the time to take advantage of it, to knock out high positions, to take advantage of the compensation plan that Mr. Snyder went through with the $300. So I appreciate it, sir. ID Seal, lock it up, and I appreciate the time.
No, I appreciate you, Chris. Real quick, for those, because there's some people that still are not familiar, right? So, after they go through the website, after it says whether they were breached or not, Now, I know you guys
Yes.
added another layer with, Equifax will send them a check based upon them being breached, and, kind of setting it up in a way where, they'll use the check to pay for their service. And, if you can maybe speak to that a little bit, how long it'll take. I know you have your check coming, I believe you had said, and, give people an
Yeah,
idea.
correct. I apologize.
No.
So yeah, I should have included that. My bad. So yeah, so when it says that you've been breached, then you just hit file claim. You'll put in just their information, where they want the check, or they could do a card, like a Visa gift card or something like that. We've done the check for pretty much everybody, and then you just got to put in their information. When it says, have you spent any time, or money, just put no and no, and then they just essentially have to signature it, type it, and then press submit, and then a check's going to come to them. Roughly within 4 to 6 weeks, you're going to see a check, and we're using that just to soften maybe the $28.99 or the $34.99 for people who maybe aren't in the position to expense that, or if they don't see the value in it, you can just say, hey, listen, they're going to give you the ability to look to see if you were even affected currently. Did somebody take a loan out? Did somebody do this? And you can try for 4 to 5 months. If you see value, awesome. There's no contract. Still kind of the familiar. And then if somebody take it one step further, most people are going to do it at that point. But if you take it a step further, if somebody really is about the $20.99 or the $34.99, then we just kind of correlate it to what they spend on internet and television, and just say, hey, listen, man, you pay $5 a day, $7 a day, or madam, to pay for, TV and internet to entertain your family. Why not spend $1 a day to protect them and all your assets as well? So it's really just a sweet way to really feel good about offering them a service that's going to last them a long-term time, protect families. Because when you really look at the videos, I would tell everybody, like, research it, like, really learn this service, because this is a service that can get you rich. This is a straight up service that can get you rich. So you want to know it. So if this is one that you're going to dive into, which I believe this should be your number one service in energy right now. Dive into that thing and learn it, so you can speak fluently and confidently, and that you believe that you're going to give them something that you can really back, and they'll feel that. When you have that power and that conviction in their voice, they'll feel it, and you'll sign up a very high ratio of customers. So,
Awesome.
but again, I appreciate the time.
No, that's great. So guys, real quick, just to recap a couple of things here. So consider this, right? So again, go through the favor approach. And that said, some of you, I know personally, I had some people that I asked for a favor and they weren't open to it. Or maybe even they tried it for a month or so or whatnot. So there's such a huge number of contacts that you can use this approach with, where all they're doing is, when they go to this site, they're just seeing if they've been breached. Now, obviously, as I'm sure you can realize, if they were not breached, that is not going to be a selling point, right? But consider, if you were on the fence, if you were 50-50 and I sent you this site and you found out you were breached and all your information was hacked, all of a sudden you're going to be more open to it. But now look at this. Because you were breached, you're entitled to your $125. So all you guys want to do, all we want to do right now is, again, go to our list of contacts, and for the love of all things holy, get them to go to this site to see if they were breached. Because if you get people that were breached, they're going to become your customer when you then go ahead and lock them in for a $100, $125 check. I would go a step further. We have a ton of people that have gotten started in the business in the last week or so. Like, record numbers over the last week alone of new distributors. Every single new IBO, when they fill out the application, they get their business up and running. After they get themselves accredited and the website up and going, why not have them go to this site to see if they were breached? Because now it's going to be that much easier. They're going to get excited. They're going to know that they have money coming back to them already, and they just signed up into the business. So, guys, that's awesome, Chris. Thank you for sharing that. Here's the next thing I want to share with everybody, and this is kind of an alternative method to helping you get a customer, is just do some basic math. So I'm going to give everybody a moment. I need you to grab a pen and a piece of paper as quick as humanly possible. This is only going to be as effective if you actually do this with me here, right? So go ahead and take a second. I can see all of you, at least most of you. So go ahead and grab a pen and piece of paper real quick. Okay, hold up your pens. Let me see your pens, everybody. Yep, there you go. Let me see. All right, pens, notepads. pens. I want you to jot a couple things down for those of you that can. Okay, I need you to do some math. If I called you up and I said, listen, I know you didn't want to do the service. That's if you said no. Or if I called you up and I go through the favor approach and you're on the fence, what if I said to you, what if I said something like, let's say it's Fidel, because Fidel, you're the first one on my screen here. What if I said, Fidel, listen, I know you told me before, you didn't really want to try it or whatever, but listen, I just need you to try it for 60 days. If it's not worth it, if you don't like it, I will give you the money back for the service for the 2 months. Worst case scenario, I'll literally give you the money back. I have to qualify for this promotion. I'm in a contest with some of my friends that are in the business. I'm just seeing who can get the most. I really just need you to try it. Now, here's why I bring it up. I'm not necessarily suggesting that all of you pay for everybody to do IDCL. That wouldn't make any sense, right? Like it would cost you more than you're going to make on the residuals. But I want you to take a deeper look at what it means financially for you. And that's why I ask you to grab a pen and a piece of paper. So worst case scenario, God forbid, worst case scenario, if you had to pay for everybody to do IDCL for 2 months, well, go ahead and do some math here for a moment. So $28, go with the $28 plan, times 2. So it's technically $29, right? So times 2, that is going to be $58. So go ahead and write that down, $58. What is $58 times 5 people that did it? Anybody that wants to unmute, go ahead and give me the answer.
$290.
$209. Thank you. So now think about it. $290. Worst case scenario. If you offered this to somebody, you paid for somebody to do it, like if they didn't really want to do it, but you gave them the satisfaction guarantee, I'll give you the money back if it doesn't go. The worst that it's going to cost you is $290. But remember, you're going to get a bonus for $250. So when it comes to business overhead or expenses, you're an entrepreneur, right? Sometimes it's going to cost somebody to make money. So look at it from this way. At worst case scenario, if it cost you $290 and you made $250, that means out of your pocket, you spent $40. But here's the key. You spent $40 for 20 points. Some of you on this line right now don't use your YBA, but you bought a YBA because you want your 2 points. So think about it. $39.99, you get 2 points with the YBA. What I just shared with you, same amount of money, $40, 20 points. 2 points, 20 points. That's only for the next 10 days. Can you take advantage of it? And again, guys, that's why this is such a crazy time for this promotion. If you are sleeping on the business, listen to me when I say if you've dropped points, if you've purged points, if you've lost some stuff, if you're new and you're just trying to hit the higher levels quicker, if you want to hit higher positions, if you want to be a solid regional director, solid ETL, you can maximize your customer count this month just by doing some simple math. My point is, it doesn't matter how you get these customers, just get the customers. Once they use your service, it's what you call a subscription service. Most of the time, it's a service that's out of sight, out of mind. There is tremendous value. After they use it, they're going to be excited about it. But even if somebody ever just forgets about the service, that's a service that, again, it's going to stay on, and now your retention is still high. So again, think like that coming in. Not to mention, those bonuses are unlimited, so you can get that over and over and over again. Last tip that I want to share with everybody. Hopefully you're as excited as I am right now. But the last tip is if you have a team, if you have more than you in ACN right now, get together with your organization. Emergency meeting. Get together. Call your group. We're doing our Saturday event tomorrow. Do it later in the day at your house if you want. Get some pizzas. Sunday afternoon, order some pizzas. Get everybody together. Have fun. Put some music on. And do call after call after call after call. Some of you with a group of people could put in 50 IDCL customers within a couple of hours in a power hour format in your home. 50 IDCL customers is 200 customer points. Here's how I internalize everything. And maybe if you don't get anything from this tonight, maybe you'll understand this, right? Whenever I focus in on something, specifically with ACN related, where it requires a certain level of customers, I always ask myself, if I needed X amount of customers to get promoted to SVP, how long would it take me to get these customer points? I can tell you all on this line right now, is if I was 100 points out of senior vice president, that's 25 ID Seal customers. You better believe I'd be calling every one of you, asking for referrals. I'd call every one of my customers. I would call every single person on my list. I would go through all of Facebook. I would be knocking on doors. You name it, I am going to find a way to get 25 ID Seal customers to hit that 100-point mark. So my point is, ask yourself, if you're on the line here tonight and you are literally 100 points out of regional vice president, your promotion, right? Your name in the lights at the next ACN International Training event, you're 100 points out. How long would it take you to get it done? Would you buckle down? Would you get them done one after another? Would you get your group together? Look at what happened for Bilal and Hafsa Salim this past weekend. For those of you that were there, Bilal has been in the business for 20 years. He was more than 300 customer points out of regional vice president at the beginning of September. The international event was the middle of September. So on September 1st, he was more than 300 points away. He was more than 2 regional directors away. How did he get it done? He rallied his team together. He got his group together. Hafsa and him made call after call after call. One of the individuals, Abby Gabor, 30 ID Seal customers, closed out regional director. The exact ways that you just heard that was promoted. As simple as, listen, if you don't like it, I'll pay for it. I need you to try it out tonight. You know, we have Mr. Carr. He's getting referrals from his customers. He's literally getting his customers to get him more customers. So my point is, it doesn't matter how you do it. You just got to buckle down and you've got to actually get it done. In addition, I want to give you some other things as we wrap up the call, right? There is a video, if you're not familiar with, they also announced it at the National. It's on your ACN back office with Mr. Tony Kupis. Guys, this is the best video I've ever seen him put together. So if you haven't taken the time to watch it yet, literally, your homework this weekend at some point, take 15 minutes and review this video in your back office. If you forget how to get to your back office, go to the Revolete support site. Log in, getting started. You got your password under new IBO login, because now right under the getting started tab is the same Tony Kupis compensation plan video. So utilize it, watch it. I'm telling you this, I watched it earlier today as a second time. They did this the first time at our Next Gen conference that was at the headquarters not too long ago. And after watching this video again, I got even more excited. Guys, they give huge numbers of possibilities for residual income and overriding residual income. It is impossible not to get motivated after you watch that video and you learn how much money is available. I would suggest watch it after we get off the call tonight or first thing tomorrow, right before you go and make some calls for ID Seal. You watch that video and you're going to be more pumped up than you ever were before. So here's some announcements I want to share with everybody. Upcoming events. Make sure everybody's on the same page. Big announcements, right? Tomorrow morning, I'll see everybody bright and early. I will be at the RDC with the other top regional directors in the community. That said, on Sunday and Monday, who do you know in the Chicagoland area? Anything that I can do to help you? I'm going to be with one of our top ETLs, Yesenia Sanchez, and a couple other leaders that are going to be out there. Sunday and Monday all day, we're just doing a blitz of meetings. So if you have any contacts that you can think of, let's reach out and get something set up so I can help you build the business. In addition, excited to be with the Dradi family and a number of leaders this week, Tuesday through Saturday. So Tuesday through Saturday, I'll be with them in South Florida, primarily going to be the West Palm Beach area, but we can help you as close as Fort Lauderdale, maybe Miami, even Orlando. We're going to be all over that area doing meetings. So again, if you know anybody in that area, now's the time to think about it. As far as locally, for those of you in the Philadelphia area, there is a September closeout blitz. It is going to be awesome. Thursday, Mr. James Adlam is doing a special event at the RDC. If you're part of VIP, it's going to cover that particular event. So, you don't have to worry about that. Key holders, it's covered as well. Friday night, there is a leadership with Mr. Anwar Miller. And I know many of you have seen Mr. Miller. I don't have to spend a lot of time on it. Here's what I will tell you. Use this as an opportunity to get people CQ'd so they can come and see Mr. Miller. So in other words, I know all of you are going to see Mr. Miller on Friday night. You want to think, how many people in your team can you promote and how many people in your group can you get there as well? Because if you get a lot of people to see Mr. Miller on Friday, they are going to freak out and they're going to be pumped on Saturday as we close out all of September. You have the top regional directors in the area. This includes Mr. Reedman, who you heard from. It includes Mr. Miller. It includes Miss Angelique Davis out of the Philadelphia area. It includes Mr. Raheem Stevenson. So we have a bang-up lineup that's going to be happening Saturday morning. So that 3 days, you guys, if you have other things going on in your life, kind of plan on doing your ACN business hard for that 3 days so you can capitalize on it, right? So that said, that's essentially everything that we wanted to cover here this evening. I'm going to open it up to questions if any of you have it specifically. But again, as a recap, I want to zone in on one thing here. So bear with me, because I'm so excited. Again, take a look at that screen right now. Some of you in the organization have massive accounts that you've signed up, but you're not getting full residuals. Some of you in the organization have massive, massive, massive bills that have been signed up in your team. As in somebody in your group, downline rep, signed up a huge account. Some of you have no idea, but there's literally 30, 40, 50 grand, some of you 100 grand in downline billing that's just sitting there. And because you're stuck at a personal customer point, you're literally hemorrhaging money every single month. You're losing it. You're not getting paid. Everybody wants to know how ACN can make so much money. It's because they don't pay out everybody money, because not everybody's qualified to get paid everything. So my point is this. You, as I've shared with you, have 10 days. 10. It's only 10. They're not extending it. They 100% said they will not extend that promotion. It is over at the end of this month. You, if you put your head down, you can absolutely take an enormous bite or chunk out of what it's going to take you to hit the next level in the company. Some of you, if you buckle down, if you literally give ACN the attention that you give Sunday football or whatever your favorite TV show, if you can just find a way for the next week to give your business that type of attention and zone in on ID Seal and energy, I'm telling you, you're going to hit RD. I'm telling you, you're going to make some money at the ETL level. And why do you want to be there? The numbers have never been better. Never been better. So that said, I'm going to go ahead and end this particular portion here. I do want to open it up to all of you. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, I appreciate you on a Friday evening. Hopefully you guys got some value from a leadership perspective. But at this point, is there anybody that has any questions whatsoever or anything that you'd like to share at this particular point, be it for energy, ID Seal, or any other questions? Let's go ahead and hit the unmute option that you have. All right. Is there anybody?
Mr. Snyder.
Yes, sir.
Can I give a shout out?
Please.
All right, cool. So I want to give a shout out real quick here to Miss Yesenia from New Jersey. She just knocked out ETL, got helped 6 people get qualified, and she is currently with Mr. John Dirks putting in 15 energy accounts right now. So that'll pay her, what is that, $950 with the increased Zoom bonus. So her ETL promotion's tomorrow. So way to go, Yesenia. Shout out, babe.
Congratulations, Yesenia. John, way to go, you guys. Chelsea, it's good to see you guys. Way to go. It is awesome. Awesome. Anybody else? Any questions? All right, so I'm going to give you one last point, right? And this, I usually reserve it when people are closing out RD, but I think there's tremendous value for those of you that stayed on the call here tonight, right? So here's what I would do with someone, and I'm going to encourage you to do the same thing. Go get a white poster board, all right? Go to your CVS tonight, go to your Walgreens, go to your Target, wherever you got to go and get a poster board. And what I want you to do is I want you to literally put lines on it, almost like a checkerboard, right? So imagine a checkerboard, and you're literally going to number the boxes, right? And those boxes are going to represent how many ID Seal customers you're away from whatever goal that you have. So again, to keep it simple, let's say your goal is 75 customer points, and right now you have 0 customer points. Well, that's going to take 20 ID Seal. Well, as an example, all you would do is you take this big white, this board, almost like a vision board, poster board that you have there, and you're literally going to draw enough boxes, enough lines to make 20 boxes. And what I want you to do is I want you to look at nothing other than your poster board for the next 10 days. And every time you get one, I want you to put a big X through it, and I want you to put the name of the person that helped you get that knocked out. I'm telling you, if you get motivated, and we as human beings are primarily visual people. So if you see box after box getting checked off, you're going to get super duper motivated. And all you're doing is focusing in on the number of ID seal. But what wound up happening is you're going to put your head up, some of you, at the end of the month. And some of you are going to have, you're going to have 15 ID seal. And you're not even going to realize that you just put 60 points into your organization. Some of you are going to rally your team. And again, you're going to rally your team, and maybe you're going to get 10 of your team members to get 10 ID seal. That's 400 points that would go in your, think about it. 10 IVOs that get 10 ID seal is 400 customer points. It's literally mind-boggling. But again, for those of you that are open to it, those of you that are open to the homework that I gave you tonight, watch Mr. Koupas' compensation plan video one more time and go and get that poster board and literally fill it, whatever your goal is. Some of you, you're 100 points out of regional director, maybe 200 points out of regional director. Listen, if you're 200 points out of RD, it's 50 ID seal. So 50 boxes, that's how I closed out regional vice president. No ID seal, but that's how I closed it out. Every single time I got a customer, we just put a big X through the box, and I got motivated just because I kept seeing those boxes cross out. So again, unless any of you guys have any other questions, or you can hit the raise hand option on your computer or phone. Jarek, it's always good to see you. Jocelyn, welcome to the team call here. All right, you all. So unless anybody has any questions, if you guys have questions maybe and just didn't want to ask me on the phone, that's okay too. For those of you that I said I would return your call, I'll do it as soon as we get off the phone here. But again, I look forward to seeing everybody in the Philadelphia area tomorrow at RDC. For those of you in Chicago, I'll see you on, again, this weekend. And for everybody in South Florida, I can't wait to see you guys down there as well. So God bless everybody. Look forward to the stories. And again, one last thing I almost forgot. Mr. Adlam wants stories for Thursday when he comes to RDC. So we're actually going to take the top 3 reps with ID seal and with energy for promotions and testimonials. You're going to get recognized Thursday with Mr. Adlam as well. So we're going to do a contest for those of you at RDC. So again, the top 3 people for energy and ID seal come this Thursday. You're going to get recognized in front of him and the team. So with that said, you guys, God bless everybody. Look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow at the training event. Take care.